Hi friends, today when we were going to school, my friend pushed me and I fell down. My uniforms got dirty and my drinking bottle was broken. I felt very sad, very angry, and I cried. I wanted to push him back, but he said, "I'm sorry." I forgave him. I have something very nice to watch. Do you want to watch with me? Here it is.
And we have so many stories in the Bible that talks about forgiveness, that teaches us why we need to forgive one another. I am going to tell you one story. This is a parable of the king and the servant. There was a king who was rich. Okay, we all know a king is supposed to be rich. And one of his servants was owing him a lot of money. And this servant was going to be sold as a slave so that he pays off all that money that he was owing the king. And the bad part was this servant was not only going to be sold alone, but together with his family, together with everything that he had. But this servant went before the king. He pleaded with the king. He cried before the king for forgiveness. And the king was so loving. The king was so merciful. The king forgave the servant and told him to go home. He will no longer sell him. This same servant went out one day and met another servant who was owing him a small amount of money. Then what did he do? He choked his fellow servant because he was owing him money. He went as far as throwing the other servant in prison because the other servant couldn't pay him money. So the people and other servants that witnessed this felt bad and went to the king. They reported the whole issue to the king. The king felt so bad and ordered for his arrest. And when this servant went before the king told him that, "How can you do such a thing? You are still owing me money and I forgave you. But your friend, your fellow servant, who is owing you just a small amount of money, you choked him and sent him to prison. So since you know no forgiveness, I will also send you to prison." So what is the motive of learning this parable? It is by telling you how bad unforgiveness is. You see, if we learn to forgive one another, we'll stay in harmony. We'll have a lot of love for ourselves. So if that servant didn't forgive the other servant, he was also going to be free from everything. But he didn't know any forgiveness. He didn't know what love was. This is why he didn't forgive the other servant. So the question is, would you want to be like that servant who didn't forget? One has to hear out the other and forgive. So since we have learned something from that parable, we'll also learn why forgiveness is good. So we'll look at things that forgiveness brings in our lives.